Hello guys, so weekly update, and I'm going to show you what I've been up to this week. I haven't actually done an awful lot because I have had my exams in reflexology this week, so I've done the bare minimum, just maintenance, and with the heat that we've been having, it's literally just been watering. So I'm going to start over here with the squash. So you can see beautiful flowers coming up on the winter squash. Down here then is all the male flowers. So the females you see are here, and they have this part here, which is obviously the squash. You can kind of see a baby ones, what they would look like. So once the flower gets fertilized, then this will turn into a squash. Down here then, with the long stems down here, are all the males. So it's interesting because I've never grown this plant before, and it seems to be that the males are all on the ground, the females are all up high. So I'm sure the women would agree that that's the best way, and that's probably how life should be. These are the beans, which have gone just mental. But the great thing about the beans is it's attracting in the bees, which then are fertilizing everything else. So, because I'm not actually a massive fan of runner beans, and we're clearly going to have plenty, but they are definitely attracting in the bees, which has been a huge help. So over here, the pumpkins, you might remember last week I broke this one over here, but look, it's started to send out a new shoot just in the week. Like, it's insane with this heat how things are growing. So fabulous, it hasn't damaged it. Here we have all of the strawberries. There's lots coming along. Look at them in here. Fabulous. I think I spent €6 the other day on a punnet of strawberries. Like, insane. So I tied it up as well. This is the chili plant. You can see the chilies here. But it was actually growing so tall it was falling over. So I clipped it back a little bit just to get it to kind of bush up. Peppers, I'm going to pick them this week. They've been doing fabulous. Something is eating my basil, but it's not slugs because I don't have slugs in the greenhouse, so I don't know what it is. It's obviously some sort of fruit fly insect. The tomatoes in there are all good. I've had a few gherkins, so I'm going to show you. This is the start of gherkins. We're going to pickle them up. My partner Leo loves pickled gherkins. Not my personal favourite, but it's nice to grow food that people eat. Down here you can see the cucumbers are starting to grow just nicely. In here is the aubergine, the tomato, as you know, the courgette, lots of different courgette, lots of bits of courgettes growing. So in here it's been so hot. What's the degrees today did we hit? Max was 46. Like, the door is open full time. Thankfully, there's such good air ventilation that it doesn't get humid. It just gets really hot and you can't come in. Like, look at my lemon, my oranges. They're all really loving the heat, and it's just so fabulous. Like, even how much my fig tree has grown. I bought this, it was just a tiny little twig in a supermarket. And it's just beaming it, or bombing it. This is some lemon balm that I got. I had planted lemon balm seeds, but the seeds were old. And I also planted chamomile at the same time, if you're following me on YouTube. And neither the seeds have taken off because it's just, they're old. They're about two, maybe even 3 years old. So I was at my mum's house and she has some lemon balm. So I got some lemon balm. Come out here. So you can see the raspberries. They're a little bit starting to come into flower. These raspberries last year were really weird. So they were in a different part of the garden, and they had loads of fruit in May, and then they had a ton of fruit again in September. So obviously this year they're going to have just fruit in September. The runner beans here, the leeks have all been doing fine. You can see the maize, the sweet corn is starting to grow up. The onions, you can see, are starting to get nice and big down there if you look down there. So these are all red onions as well. The spinach, my poor potatoes, it's so hot on the patio at the moment. They're really struggling, so I'm actually watering them twice in a day to keep them going. But they're surviving. But I think probably another 2 weeks and I'm going to have to harvest them because I don't think they're going to last a massive amount longer. It's just drying out so much in these, what would you call them? I don't even know what the name for those kind of beds are. But yeah, they're drying out really, really fast because it's just so warm. So that's probably been the biggest challenge this week, is to just keep everything well watered. The week ahead, my plan is, you might remember I planted up a little bit of maize or sweet corn, and I'm going to be planting it in here, and that's what I'm going to be doing this week. And just even show you this. So this was just a bit of a tomato plant that I broke off. Look at all the roots. So I'm going to be planting up some tomatoes, that tomato plant, and I also want to just plant some new okra seeds, some chili seeds, and I want to plant them up just so that I can have, again, tomatoes coming into October, late October, because with the greenhouse you can extend the growing season, so that's the whole plan. Because I'm clearly going to have a massive amount of cucumbers and gherkins, and I'm going to have plenty of tomatoes, but I would like to have tomatoes again continuing into October and maybe even November, depending on the heat and how cold it gets outside. But I just want to continue the growing season. So I'm going to plant up a couple of more seeds this week, and just to extend that growing season so that I have, again, more coming along in October, November, because this will all keep supplying me with food up until about September. And then obviously I don't want it to just stop. I want to continue. And then kind of November is when end of October, November is kind of when things will just stop growing, because it's going to be too cold, unfortunately, in Ireland, and I'm not going to heat the greenhouse. But look this week how even, okay, the kiwi actually has been slow enough, but look how much my grape has taken off. Like, mental. It's got a little bit of the squash attaching to it, but like, it was only a week ago, it was only down here. There are a few grapes coming here, but I don't expect anything this year from the grape vine, and I wanted to fill all of this. So once it gets up to the top, I'm going to send it back down and just trellis it all off, and fingers crossed then it'll do good. In here I have more cucumbers. I probably didn't really think about this when I should have had. The one in the far corner over there, I don't know how I'm going to reach it when it does actually grow anything. But look, you learn, and that's how it is. So I'm going to water everything now, because it's been super hot again today. So everything needs a good watering, and the irrigation system is working away great. But anything that's in a pot or anything that's outside is desperately dry. So literally it's a case of watering in the morning and watering in the evening, just to try and keep things going. So thanks so much. Please like, subscribe and follow, and let me know how your garden is doing this week. I'm sure if you're in Ireland or the UK and you've experienced the heat that we've had, you've also seen a bumper amount of growth this week. So let's see, fingers crossed, the ground should be really, really warm now for the next couple of days, even if the temperature does drop, which we're expecting. But the ground has heated up so much that I expect everything to continue to grow. Have a great week, guys.